Good afternoon, I'm meteorologist Joe Winters here in the TV9 Weather Lab. We want to break into programming to let you know that a tornado watch has now been issued for a large portion of the TV9 viewing area. Go ahead and take a look at that watch right now. It extends along and south of Highway 20. This would be from Dubuque to Manchester and Waterloo, down through Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, over toward Washington and Oskaloosa. This tornado watch is in effect now until 10 o'clock tonight. We are expecting some rapid development of thunderstorms right now across eastern Iowa. It is quiet as far as any precipitation. Our morning rounds of storms have moved off toward the east into areas of Wisconsin and Illinois, and right now eastern Iowa remains quiet. However, as we take a look at a bit of timing for you, you'll see those storms start to roll our way. I think anytime after 5 o'clock, some of those storms could certainly develop, and as they do develop, they will move up toward the north, and a line will move in from the west. All of those storms have the potential to produce severe weather. The initial storms that develop certainly have that potential to produce tornadoes, and as you can see, this could be a prolonged event with some scattered thunderstorms remaining strong all the way into the early morning hours of our Wednesday before the cold front finally passes through and puts an end to this severe weather outbreak. Again, all modes of severe weather possible, and we're talking about damaging winds of about 60 to 70 or greater. Large hail, we're talking about hail in some of these storms, the potential to be greater than 3 inches in diameter, and a few strong tornadoes are also possible, and you can see that's all across eastern Iowa and the TV9 viewing area. Once again, we do want to show you that we do have that tornado watch that now remains in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. It is along and south of Highway 20. The threat for tornadoes, damaging wind, and large hail is present in eastern Iowa. We're expecting that development to come rapidly, so be ready to move to a safe place when those thunderstorms develop. Right now, it looks like after 5 o'clock, moving into portions of the TV9 viewing area. We'll remain in the weather lab, of course, and continue to watch the weather as it moves through and update you as the weather warrants. As always, keep it here on your trusted local news and weather source, KCRG TV9.
Hey there, guys. It's meteorologist Ryherd. We're going to go live here with a discussion in just a second. We'll just get set up and we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Hi there, everyone. First Alert Storm Team Meteorologist Ryherd here. We're going to do a little bit more of an in-depth discussion, kind of talking about everything we're expecting here this afternoon and dive into the details for you. So let's first take a look. This is that tornado watch that you just heard of from Joe. Again, anywhere along or south of Highway 20 in the TV9 viewing area does have the potential for tornadoes here today. A tornado watch has been issued by the Storm Prediction Center, and that is in effect until 10 p.m. Could see a couple of strong tornadoes in the area, so again, stay weather aware, please. Looks like those are going to fire up closer into central Iowa and then move into eastern Iowa probably any time after 6 o'clock or so is when we'd expect things to be happening here. So let's run through kind of the latest of the details for us. Right now, temperatures across the state, you can see those 70s and even 80s climbing into the southern parts of the area. That just shows how warm that air mass is behind that warm front. Check that out in Lamoni, 87 right now, Burlington at 84, Ottumwa at 77. Meanwhile, Cedar Rapids, Iowa City at 57. So once that warm front lifts in, things really change quickly. The dew points back behind that as well into the 60s. So anywhere that warm front is able to push up into the area, that's where we're looking at that potential for strong storms in anywhere behind or along that warm front. Right now, visible satellite for us. Anywhere you're seeing those clouds kind of lifting, that's where that front is at this point. So continuing to lift to the north for us right now. And again, warmth, moist air, all building in back behind that. And that's going to set us up for the potential for strong storms here later. So once again, tornado watch in effect anywhere along and south of Highway 20, even though it may not feel like it's particularly muggy or like we could see storms out there yet for your area, as that warm front continues to lift in, that potential certainly does arise. So let's run through the timing here as we head through the afternoon. Starting off at 3 o'clock. Not a lot happening just yet, but as we run through the next couple of hours, probably closer to 5 o'clock or so, check out central Iowa. That's that initial line kind of starting to form for us. And then as we head through the rest of the evening, things are really pushing into eastern Iowa by about 6 or so, and then really progressing eastward from there, 7, 8, kind of in the heart of the TV9 viewing area, and again continuing through. Here we are now about 10 o'clock, still seeing a little bit of stormy activity in the area. So again, that tornado watch right now is in effect until 10 o'clock. We'll see if parts of the area are able to be canceled out early, or some parts may even be needed to expand. Again, all things that are on the docket for us here, as this threat doesn't end necessarily early on the evening. We could see a little bit more during the overnight hours. The trailing cold front, that moves through closer to about 3 in the morning, and could still see some gusty winds with that part of the system as well. So again, similar in nature to the mugginess and the dew points and everything we're looking at in terms of temperatures with this system, but definitely different than what we were dealing with on Friday. So know that as we head through the overnight hours, you will still want to stay weather aware and have multiple reliable ways to get severe weather information, even as you head to bed, because this could still be something that we're dealing with during the overnight hours. So let's talk a little bit about that. Again, there's lots of ways that you can get our information here. You can find us on the First Alert Weather app. When we are doing live coverage here later on today, you can also find our live stream on there. You can also find our live stream on YouTube channel, as well as Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, lots of places that you can take our coverage with you when you head to your safe places. kcrg.com/livestream, another great source. We'll be posting updates on social media, but do know that that is not the something that is monitored 100% of the time during severe weather. Usually we're kind of focused much more on our live streaming and things like that. So while there will be information posted there, do have other ways as well to get that information. So with that watch in place, here's a few reminders on what to do. Be sure you know where you live on a map. Can you identify what county you're in and where you live in that county? Be prepared to seek shelter if a warning is issued in or around your area, and be prepared to do that quickly. Have that emergency supply kit already in place. Have that bike helmet or your boots, things like that you want as you exit your safe shelter, ready to go already. Again, NOAA weather radios, great source of information to be able to get that multiple reliable ways of information. We definitely recommend that NOAA weather radio. Another thing to keep in mind, outdoor warning sirens, they will sound, but not only for tornadoes. They'll also sound for large hail, as well as damaging winds in many of our counties. So do keep that in mind as we head through the rest of the evening. They are there to alert you that there is some sort of danger outside, that you should get to your safe place and seek further information. All right, so let's run through kind of the nuts and bolts again of everything going on. Tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. across the TV9 viewing area. Strong tornadoes possible, very large hail as well. I've seen some forecasts anywhere from 3 to 3.5 inch hail possible in some of these storms. That's not to say that's going to come right over your area, but probably one or two of these storms could have some pretty large hail with it. So do take those precautions now. Get that car in the garage if you can, and know that that is a possibility here as we head through the evening. Again, a couple of strong tornadoes with some of those storms. The very large hail, the strong tornadoes is going to be kind of earlier on in this event, and as we head through the rest of the event, those threats will kind of pale to the wind, as well as a general hail threat that we'll be moving on to as this event continues to evolve. Let's talk about the evolution and timing of that one more time. Again, starting you off here right about now, not a lot happening out there. That warm front continues to lift to the north. By about 5 o'clock, though, we'll see a lot of activity starting to fire up in central Iowa, roughly along that I-35 corridor, kind of back to the west there, and then really moving pretty quickly. Again, similar to last time with the movement of these storms, that they will be moving very quickly, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour at times, and moving quickly into eastern Iowa. Anytime as early as 6 o'clock or so, I think we'll have some storms moving through our area, and anytime thereafter between that 6 to 8 time frame, really impacting a large portion of eastern Iowa. As we head towards that 10 o'clock hour, that's when that tornado watch is currently set to expire. The main initial part of that kind of moving out, but still could have some storms around the area. So do know that there is that potential even as we head into the overnight hours. Make sure you have ways that will alert you if there's a severe weather warning issued during the overnight time frame that will alert you and get you up out of bed, because I know it's very easy to turn your phone off and just kind of ignore it, and a lot of people maybe not waking up to any phone alerts during the overnight hours. But as we continue through Pinpoint Futurecast here, you'll notice even more chances for storms during that overnight time frame, as that next front, that cold front moving through about 3 a.m. could even still see some storms moving through the area for us at this time. Again, right now, if you look outside and you're like, I don't really know if there really could be storms, this is what we're dealing with. That warm front continues to lift to the north right now. So areas to the south, plenty of sunshine, plenty of warmth, plenty of moisture down there. And as that warm front continues to lift, all that warmth and moisture will be moving up further to the north. That's why that tornado watch goes all the way up towards that Highway 20 corridor, because anywhere that warm front's able to get to, those are the areas that do have the potential to see some of those stronger storms. Now, one other thing I did want to highlight here is what we've kind of been talking about with the energy building up with this storm system. And that is something that you may have heard is called the cap. So right now, atmosphere does have a cap over it. And so any air that's rising continues to rise, but it hits that capped layer. And what that cap is a layer of warm air several thousand feet up, and basically it just stops that air from rising. Okay, air rises as it continues up until it hits that warm air, but then it's cooler than the air around it, so it can't keep rising, and so that basically inhibits any storm formation. So what we need to do, get that sunshine out as behind that warm front is doing, and that's when we'll start to see storms able to form. That air is able to rise freely when that cap is eroded away. Think of it similar to, say, if you had a pop bottle with a lid on it, okay, a cap, and you shook it up and shook it up and shook it up. Well, the bubbles inside of that, you're going to have all that energy kind of building inside your bottle, but as long as that cap's on there, that energy can't go anywhere. As soon as you remove that cap, you get that explosive development or explosive thunderstorm development in the scenario of our capped atmosphere. And that's what allows all that energy to build up here through the day as that atmosphere is capped. Once we uncap the atmosphere, we're able to get those thunderstorms to really get going quickly. And that's why they could have that potential to be so strong. So again, that capped atmosphere, that's kind of made this forecast a little bit trickier in some senses, because if that cap is able to hold, nothing's going to happen. Again, think about that pop bottle. If you don't take the cap off, nothing changes. But if we are able to get that cap to erode, which it looks like as that warm front continues to lift to the north, we're going to be able to do all that warmth and moisture building in behind it. That's where we're going to get that explosive thunderstorm development and that dangerous situation kind of developing quickly for us with hail, tornadoes, wind, all on the docket. So again, please stay weather aware here today. Have multiple reliable ways to get that severe weather information. And for now, I'm going to leave you on that tornado watch that we have. Again, that is for all areas in eastern Iowa along or south of Highway 20. And any of these areas could see strong tornadoes, very large hail, as well as damaging winds here through the evening hours. So please stay weather aware here. We'll have the latest updates on air as well as through our weather app. You can also find us here again on our YouTube channel. Lots of ways, again, to take KCRG's coverage with you as you get to your safe places here. And thanks for staying weather aware.